instead of arguing about, well, Harrison didn't actually say that, and also you're wrong about women, it's easier. It's just a better conversation to be like, why does this bother you so much?
Mm-hmm.
And then that can lead to a whole other realm of discussion about the person and like the feelings that what he said is arising in that person instead of about Harrison Butker. Because it's really not about Harrison Butker. It's such a bunch of dissatisfied women that are all mad.
Yes.
And men who feel like they have to stick up for them for some reason. Well, we all know the reason. Welcome to The Crunch, the only podcast that is now the full-time kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yay!
Yay! The petition worked, everybody. He got kicked off and they put us on. Little do they know.
They don't know anything.
In fact, in order to be on this podcast, you have to be able to kick a 63-yard field goal. So unfortunately, Harrison can never come on the podcast because he's only ever kicked a 62.
Is it a problem if I actually kick a 64-yard field goal?
Yeah, it has to be exactly 63 every time.
I'm just being that annoying kid from school who's always like, is it okay if I'm actually way better than the thing that you said? Those kids I think should be not just sent to detention, but I think the punishment for that should be you don't get to go to school anymore and you have to figure out how to make it without the school system.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
You don't need anyone, huh? Yeah.
You don't need us. You don't need our help. So how about you figure it out on the streets, John? Anyway, my name's Ethan.
Welcome to The Crunch. The Crunch, I'm Patrick. The Crunch is a podcast where Ethan and I talk about a topic of the Catholic faith while making jokes. The jokes are kind of the point. We're glad you're here. We think more people should have conversations like this one. And we are now the kickers for the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is...
I'm really excited. The thing I'm most excited for is access to... the kitchen, the food staff at the Kansas City Chiefs. Ooh. Because I do believe that they will get your macros dialed in and they just kind of deliver chicken parm to your house when it's time.
I think they deliver you chicken, but it's skinless, boneless, and it's boiled and it's salted.
No, it can't be that.
Yeah,
I've seen what these NFL players eat. They are not eating. You've seen the linemen are not eating boneless, skinless chicken.
That's true. They're not. Full fat yogurt in these guys. What did you call him? That was my nickname in high school. Full fat yogurt.
Like the one white guy on the D line is his name is Full Fat Yogurt.
His name is Full Fat Yogurt.
That's funny. I am excited because I want access to the highest quality foods that they have to offer, and I also would like to be in a locker room where there's LED lights around my nameplate on the locker, and that would make me feel special. That
would be nice.
And then I would have a TLM inside the locker room to upset.
I do like how they glam up the locker rooms in the home.
Do.
You know,
it's kind of a funny little thing because it's like they make it all colorful, you know, and they have like snacks, and it's like, is this a guy's place?
Or is this like and the reason
those are all the things I do for my wife when she's coming home from a long day. I like make it all colorful, and I set out snacks. I make it like easy for her to sit down.
I have a little T-shirt with her name on it.
Rooms.
Yeah. I have her clothes laid out.
I get a towel out for her.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny because these things like they evolve out of. It's weird how television has influenced this, you know, because I'm assuming it used to be the case. It's that way because it needs to look good on TV, right? Yes. Every inch of the stadium has been designed for television, and everything that isn't is backstage, you know? And it's funny because I feel like sports reporting, getting into the locker room used to be, the reason why they did that was because that's where you can get the real. That's where it's unvarnished. I just came off of losing the Super Bowl and I'm pissed. And I'm going to talk to Joe Trout from the Chicago World Star. And I'm going to tell him what I really feel. I'm going to give him the inside scoop because he's my buddy. Like a thing you'd be able to get in like that.
The Chicago World Star. Chicago World Star is a newspaper just about people shooting each other on vertical video.
Chicago World Star is a Twitter account, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I guarantee it is. But it's the Chicago Wire Mirror. That's what it is. Telegram. Anyway, so what I assume, like this could be me totally wrong, but I assume that getting into the locker room used to be a privilege that was really reserved only for the sports reporters,
the best of the best,
were very close to the team and knew people personally, right? But now I guess it's so lucrative that obviously the news organizations need to be in there, and so they want to look good. They don't want the locker room to look messy, but that's a problem because the locker room is for those boys to be boys. Wait, sorry, don't say that. You can't say that.
No,
anymore.
boys cannot be boys. That's
Not
not
in the
locker
locker
room
room.
talk. Locker room talk is not allowed.
Not
You know what I just realized is my new dream job?
What's that?
Someone just asked me earlier today if podcasting was my dream job. My answer was yes until about 15 seconds ago. My dream job is to be the official InfoWars sports reporter.
That'd be incredible.
I would love nothing more than to be Alex Jones's one and only guy who does sports for InfoWars. And I have a little desk and I do sports, but it's just like laced with
you see the tunnels under the
talking about right, you're talking about fluoride, you're talking about the tunnels, you're talking about, but then you're doing highlights, of the game. I think that would be the greatest job of all time. I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to put that on my LinkedIn, like in search of.
That play, it's because he only eats red meat, and it's because he uses double X skill supplements.
That's a pretty good Alex Jones.
Thank you. I'm a little ashamed of how good I am at Alex Jones impressions.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard. He's a relatively easy guy to impersonate.
I'm sorry. This is a family show.
Yeah,
he says that a lot.
Show.
If you listen, it is a family show. This is a family show. It's a family show.
Yeah,
it's a family show. He tries not to swear, but he does often. He says a lot.
He gets so riled up because he cares so much.
He does.
That's actually
he does.
Actually, he should probably be the sports guy. You imagine Alex Jones
down
down on the sideline?
He should probably be the president.
I think that'd be fine too. I think you put Alex Jones down there. Usually they put down like the beautiful smoking hot blonde, right, to capture the attention of the young male athletes. What do you think of that play? Imagine it's just Alex Jones just sweating and just like trying to interview these guys about the frogs being gay, about Sandy Hook. Dude, I can't. This is an Eric Andre skit or a Tim Robinson skit that I think would be something. This is all time. So anyway, that's my new dream, is for InfoWars to get into sports.
Info sports.
That's what I want. Info sports.
Yes. That's so good.
What's been going on? How are you? You've been busy. You've been working. You've been grinding.
I've been on the grind. Yeah. We've been posting more. We've been trying more more things. We need to create a Crunch Street team. We were talking about that today.
Yeah, people kept trying to call it something else, and you kept rerouting the conversation back to calling it a street team, which I thought was very funny.
No, what did I really? I only
you were like, we need to create a Crunch Street team, and someone's like, oh yeah, we need to like get some people together to sort of be like a group that he's like, and you're like, no, we need like a street team. Like you were very insistent on calling it.
I want to call it that,
a street team for
Listen,
some
it's
reason.
Our podcast. I could
you can have a street team if you'd like, honey. What will the street team do? How can someone join?
The street team, you see, the street team will be a on our Discord. We will have a channel called the Crunch Street Team, and every time the Crunch shows up in a discussion, or if someone posts on Twitter or in the Catholic Discords or on Reddit says, "Hey, Crunch." Any podcast recommendations? You guys go and you recommend the Crunch, and you don't like
everyone
spam.
says the Crunch. Yes.
But someone posts the Crunch, and then you guys all talk about how much you love the Crunch organically, so it doesn't count as brigading. And then everyone goes, "Wow, the Crunch! I keep seeing them everywhere," and it feels organic.
This is actually we might have figured out how news works.
This is how news works.
You've just cracked the code on mainstream media, because it's like a few places that everybody's watching, and it's the same foreign talking points that get included every week that one group sort of decides.
Yes.
And so we could do that. We could be listen to me, we could be the Mossad of Catholic podcasts.
I think we could. We've been to Mossad.
we've been to Israel. I don't think that counts as being to Mossad.
No. We went to the hill where the Masada, right? Didn't we? We went to the Masada is named after the Masada Hill.
I didn't eat any carne asada the whole time we were in the Holy Land, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's named the Masada is named after a battle, the last stronghold of
No, those are the horns of Hattin.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. No, not the horns of Hattin. That's from the Crusades.
Oh, what are you talking about?
This is in the first century when
Rome
where
were we?
was trying to stamp in Israel near Jerusalem, the last holdout. They were starved and they laid siege to Israel army encamped in Masada.
Tiki Masala is an ancient fortification in southern Israel, situated on top of an isolated rock plateau, akin to a mesa. It's located on the eastern edge of the Judean desert. We did not go here.
Yeah, never mind. We didn't go there.
I am looking at it, and I think I would have remembered this place.
Anyway, so they named it after that.
It looks like it's near.
People died.
It's near the Dead Sea. So the only place we went to the Dead Sea was the bathroom. At least for
what?
Me. The only place I went in the Dead Sea was the bathroom.
Not in the Dead Sea, hopefully. You can't pee in there.
No, that would have been bad. You get in trouble for that.
No, you just
they kick you out. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
I do think we should have a Crunch Street team. I do think that that's how we got to Seek our first year ever, was we just had 4 or 5 people. Isn't that insane? That just like 4 people commented on that Facebook post and they were like, "Oh, let's invite these guys."
That's how it works.
That's all it takes. You just need to give the impression that you're popular. You don't actually have to be popular. I was talking to a friend of mine about this today. He was very concerned that the only reason that he's successful is because of his proximity to fame. And I was like, listen, that's how everyone is famous.
That's okay.
That's the only way to get famous, is to be proximate to fame, such that you can build your own fame. Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you think Hollywood is filled of sycophants?
And everyone, you're in the best spot. See, this is the thing. Mm-hmm. If you're close to famous people, you're in the best spot because everyone wants to be your friend, because everyone's conniving and they want to be close to famous people too. And so they will get close to you to try and get close to the famous person. And then they don't actually care about you. So once you get benefit from them and they forget about you, you both part ways perfectly fine. No, it's good. If people like you because you're close to famous people, then I feel like that's why people like us. I think that's why people listen to the podcast at first.
Who were we proximate to?
We were interviewing famous people. That was like our thing. Yes, we were. Well,
we were interviewing people who were Catholic speakers at conferences that we went to when we were in high school.
Yeah, and so people wanted to be proximate to those guys, but not really much anymore. It's not as much of a draw.
No, not a
you gotta interview Jordan Peterson.
Did you listen to that interview?
No, I cannot listen to Jordan Peterson very long. He sounds like Kermit, and he's not intelligent. Very intelligent.
I do think that you're wrong. I do think that he is intelligent. I think you're allowed to disagree with someone without saying that they're not intelligent.
It's not that I disagree with him. I think I agree with him, and I think he's not intelligent. Yeah, I think.
Really?
Yeah, my opinion. A lot of people. Seriously, I think all of my ideas are stupid, and he has all of them, so he must be an idiot. No, I think he's correct about a lot of things. And I also just don't think he's that smart of a person. Or at least he's very bad at articulating deep topics.
I think you're just so wrong on both counts. And I'm not even a Jordan Peterson fan. Like I don't think he's worth listening to most of the time.
He just talks. Like he's not
You're basing it off of that. You're basing it off of that one clip that you made the meme out of about Adam and Eve.
He did the same thing. He did the same thing on Pints of the Aquinas. He does the same thing.
You didn't listen. You just said that you didn't listen to it.
But I saw clips of it, and
you saw clips.
And these are the look, listen. All I'm saying, if the highlight reel, highlights are like, this is just this is just nothing. If that's the highlight, then what else was it? I don't know. Maybe I'm
Maybe
wrong.
maybe you're
But
comparing
I read
maybe
his
you're
book.
comparing your blooper reel to other people's highlights. Have you ever thought about that?
I think I'm comparing his highlight to him. I think I'm just analyzing his highlight. You know?
I think it's fine to say that someone is a bit verbose or loquacious.
Sure.
But I don't think that because someone is verbose that it means that they are not intelligent. It just means that they communicate ideas differently from you.
Perhaps unintelligent is unfair.
Yeah.
I think he
So
might.
I do think he is intelligent.
I think that I think that his reputation is, I don't know, man. It's just some of the ways he tries to explain things, and some of the ways that he tries to describe like masculinity and femininity and God and like mythology is just so strange. He does the modern pop psychology thing where he takes it's his book. That's what I've read. That's what I've read of him. He does the pop psychology thing where he takes like something from mythology and goes, and that means that must mean something about human nature. And it's like, no, it's just a story. Like it's a story from the past. It doesn't necessarily mean, because the Babylonians believed that, femininity was demonic. That doesn't mean that femininity is chaotic. Like that the Babylonians could have been wrong and they're all dead, so who cares what they thought? Anyway. Sorry, you want to say things.
No, I mean, I think you can critique someone's interpretation of things and their ability to communicate their ideas. I just think it's unfair to say that he's unintelligent.
In the spirit of nuance, I guess I was speaking hyperbolically. And
that's fine. Yeah. I just think it's like we can't do the thing what other people do, which is that they write someone off completely because of something that they said. Right? We're going to talk about this with Harrison Butker in a moment. Right? Because you can't do that. I think that someone like JP being as successful as he has for as extended a period of time as he has means that he has capability in terms of intellect. Like you can't go and be on the road hundreds of days out of the year and write books and give talks and give interviews and stay consistent while also like developing your own rhetorical style and inspiring lots of people and also making money, and also like not cheating on your wife without having some degree of capability. So that's the only reason that I balked initially.
Counterpoint: Joe Biden did all those things. I'm just kidding.
We do not know that Joe Biden has stayed faithful to his wife. We know for a fact that Joe Biden has not stayed true to the things that he said that he believes.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like
I guess
I think there is a little bit of a difference.
I do think that Jordan Peterson.
He also is hopped up on adrenochrome and has a blood boy, and so I think that he's just in a kind of a different realm than Jordan Peterson.
I think JP, for all of his merits, I think the reason why he's so popular is because he's willing to. He's very good at keeping his composure, which is one of the. It's the same reason why Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro got really famous right at the beginning, is because these are the guys who are willing to talk to super liberal people and ask them questions in a way that displays the hypocrisy of their positions. I think that's why he got super popular. I think that his the other things about him leave something to be desired. I don't think he's like the devil incarnate. No, I just don't think. I find him difficult to listen to because I don't think he had. I didn't find anything worth.
You don't need what he's offering.
In the 12 Rules. Yeah,
you don't need what he's offering.
Worthwhile in his book. So like, why am I going to listen to him talk?
That's okay. I mean, I don't find anything valuable from like David Goggins. But that doesn't mean that like the guys that he's helped lose hundreds of pounds and like get their life together is worthless.
I'm giving you the reason why I didn't listen to Pints with Quints is because I'm not interested in Jordan Peterson's ideas.
And I think that's good. I think we've landed at a beautiful place here. This is why I don't listen to most Catholic podcasts. Because
the difference is I
Yeah.
don't. I do not want to listen, nor do I have any desire to listen to Jordan Peterson on Pints of Aquinas. However, I am happy that Matt interviewed him, and I think that was a very good thing
Oh, totally. I think it
because
was
it made
great.
Matt
Great
more
for Matt.
popular. And at the end of the day, that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
You want Matt to be more popular?
Yes, I want people who are cool to be and fine and
Mm-hmm.
fun to be successful at the things they do. That's what I
Hmm.
want. I want Matt to be
Hmm.
successful at his podcast. And I think him
I think
interviewing
he's
controversial
yeah.
figures is good.
Yes. When's he going to interview us in in
We
our
need to be
myriad of
more
controversies?
controversial.
I'm
Unfortunately,
trying.
the more famous people he has on the podcast, the less likely it is that we are ever going to get on
We
that.
have to hit an exponential growth point to leap ourselves into the category of people that
Yeah,
can
we
be
have
on
to
the
do
show.
something just effing insane. We just have to do something
But he also
crazy.
he has people
Let's
on that are
climb a
like,
building without a harness.
Today I'm talking to Dr. Jim Jomby, and he's the director of historical paganism at the Catholic Institute for Pagans and Current Catholics and Former Pagans. And we're going to talk about symbolism for 4 hours. It's like, that sucks. Like, that's boring.
We could be
You know?
that.
No, I don't want to have Jim Jambo on the show. I don't like him.
No. I'm saying we could be the boring guys that are on there. What if we
No, but
were
we'd be
boring?
cool. We are as well known as Dr. Jim Jambo, and we'd be 10 times as entertaining. But I don't think he
Yeah,
wants an entertaining show. I think
but
he wants.
we need a clickable. It's the
We are
topic
clickable.
for those episodes. It's the topic.
Yeah.
Fred also has Steubenvillitis, where it's like it's like recency bias, but it's proximity bias. He's interviewing people who the people you're talking about are like people that are professors at Franciscan. Is that what you mean?
Just professors in general, people who
Sure.
are academics and intellectuals.
He's interviewing a lot of the professors at Franciscan that are very
Yeah.
well known and popular in the university and the community. And so I think
Right.
that's part of it. Now, those guys do deserve attention. I think Dr. Beringer is a very intelligent man.
Sure.
But you're right. He doesn't bring the audience the way Jordan Peterson does. So maybe we do have hope.
Right.
Maybe
What I was saying is
there
that we're just as popular, if not more popular, than those guys. And so I don't think it's a matter of fame. I think it's a matter of that's just not the place for us at the moment. We have to find our own way, and we will.
So you wanted to talk about JP.
I wanted to talk about Harrison Butker.
Ethan, I'm upset with you.
What did I do?
You got a free book in the mail, and then you read me the back of it, and I wanted to read it, but I don't have it.
Oh, just another way that I'm smarter than you and have more books.
Thank you.
And
We have
I'm
a
more
sponsor. We have an author sponsored our podcast. A friend of Ethan wrote a book.
His name is Alec Molly, and his book Out of Suns. You can find it on Amazon.com. Look up Out of Suns by Alec Molly. And I did get it in the mail, and you didn't. And I think that's just because intuitively people know that I read and you don't.
That is the reputation
Probably.
that I've developed for myself as someone who doesn't read. Ew, yucky.
Yeah, and you definitely don't read books about two brothers that are going across the country together and wrestling with their faith in God and growing in friendship, all because of a woman. That's not the type of thing that you would
You read the back cover, and I am a sucker for these kinds of
Yeah.
journey to
Yes.
a destination and like
Yes,
a
coming of
subversion of the
age.
expectation. Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a big transformative experience. You read that to me, and I was like, I love it. Also, I love stories about love, not working
Yeah.
out, and guys
This-
it's good.
This is a story written by a young man trying to deal with the modern world for young men. Like he's told me this is the book that he wished he would have had when he was in college, getting ready to marry his wife and all of these things going into grad school. So read Out of Suns. It's aimed at the boys, but I think the ladies could also benefit a lot from this book. If you got a boy in your life, go to Amazon.com, look up Out of Suns by Alec Molly, buy it. And there's no way to tell him that we sent you, but I think he will know because there's tons of orders coming in because you're all going to buy it. Patrick.
He'll know in his heart.
Yes. And maybe one day you'll learn how to read.
Thanks,
Back to
Alec
the
Molly.
episode.
That's Mally.
Mally.
Alec. Mally.
ALECMALY.
Yes. Look up Alec Molly on Amazon. Thank you, Alec, for sponsoring this episode of The Crunch.
Back to the episode.
Oh, sorry. You wanted to talk about HB.
HB and JP, who I think share a surprising amount in common because they're both getting canceled by woke, and I think that's wrong.
You can't kick football anymore because of woke.
Yes, they won't. They will not let you kick the oblong pigskin anymore because of woke.
They won't. They won't let you throw around.
The old.
They only want you to. They only want the circular, multicolored, multicultural ball. They only want that.
Yeah.
They only want communism's football.
How long is it before they make the player sign like a statement of affirmation of like woke DEI things before they're allowed to play? Because the NFL was like, we do not stand behind Harrison Butker's comments and they do not reflect the values of the NFL. It's like,
they said that? Nice. That's so
they
funny.
did say that. I'm like, that's honestly great for Harrison because that means that the league that everyone just unequivocally hates, the NFL, is not behind you. So you've got that going for you.
Good.
But I think we talked about this a bit on the bonus podcast, but that was what?
No, people have already made this joke 'cause it's so obvious, but it's like you guys distance yourself from the guy who's like very supportive of his wife instead of, and you continue to employ the guys that very publicly beat them,
beat their wives and go to strip clubs and, there's, pressure their girlfriends to have abortions, all those things. Like, it's just not, it's very disappointing. But the, Aaron Rodgers, he comes out, says a couple things about the vaccine. All of a sudden there's a problem,
Yeah.
I don't think that's cool. I also think Aaron Rodgers being on Tucker Carlson is very funny.
That is very funny.
Just as a comedic point.
I know. It's like, what world are we living in?
I was watching it. He this is why I brought up Mossad, because I just saw this clip and he like just deadpan brings up Mossad in this interview with like, why is Aaron Rodgers talking about Ghislaine Maxwell's dad being an Israeli spy? Like, why is that happening? Go play football. What are you doing?
Please.
We're begging you.
I think
what?
Did you listen? Did you actually? Harrison Butker gave a speech. For those who don't know, Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, is a devout Catholic, very trad.
We saw him a few weeks ago at the Young Catholic Professionals Conference.
We did. He said hi to us. I'm just kidding. He did. He
briskly walked by. Yeah.
To get on a plane to go back to his family.
Yeah.
And so he gave a speech at Benedictine. Did you listen to it?
I read the highlights and I listened to the clip that everyone was talking about, but I have not. I have not had time to
listen to the whole thing.
Listen to the whole thing.
I listened to the whole thing. It's about 20 minutes. You can knock it out.
Yeah.
You can listen to it double speed, and it was 20 minutes, and at the end he goes, "I feel comfortable sharing these things because of this audience." Like, it was very clear that he was speaking the way he was because he was like, "Oh yeah, this is just
because he was at Benedictine."
And it's funny that I was like, "Oh man, you should have thought that through, man. You should have maybe considered that." But no, he was strong and he stood his ground. So Harrison Butker gave a speech and he basically went through point by point everything that trad Catholics believe about from beginning to end, like the bishops, priests, whether you should go to Latin Mass, the role of women in the home, the role of men at work and in the home, the laity and how the laity have a responsibility but not obligation to their parish, and
Pride Month, woke,
DEI, not liking NFP. He hit that.
Yeah.
He just
briefly
said said something about NFP.
Nice.
And then he closed out. And I got to be honest, I did not agree with everything that he said. I did. Some of the speech. One of my friends really loved the speech. She thought it was like fantastic. She said she was crying. I thought it was good. I thought he was very clear. It wasn't like captivating. I didn't agree with everything he said. But the thing that everyone's mad about is when he starts talking about women in the women in the audience. He's like, "Ladies, I want to talk directly to you." So that's the part that everyone's freaking out about. And he does kind of what St. Paul does in Ephesians 5, where he talks to the women and then he talks to the men, and everyone focuses on the women part.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw more of the outrage than I. Would you like to describe the outrage a little bit?
It's kind of so the thing he basically, in summary, he's just saying a lot of you are going to go on and have great careers, but I would imagine that many of you are most excited to be wives and mothers and homemakers, which is the most important role. And the outrage was very odd to me because it was, well, I guess it's not that surprising, but a lot of accusations of misogyny and specifically about like, how can you not want women to go out and be in the workforce? Especially, there were a lot of comments about his mom. Like, I can't believe your mom is a doctor. How could you say that? And I'm like, how you can think something that disagrees with your mom? That's like not a sin or a crime.
I do that all the time.
Right. It just is a very strange that people would get like, I can't believe you would say this, and your mom is a doctor. How dare you? It's like, well, just because she's a doctor doesn't also mean that the most important and fulfilling thing in her life is having a husband and having children. You know,
those
it's
things
like
aren't mutually exclusive.
We were talking about this also in the bonus cast about the zero sum game, like the way that everybody sees everything is that it either has to be one or the other. And so I think that's what people were really struggling with is he was saying a lot of you are going to have great careers, but I would imagine the most important thing for a lot of you is going to be being a wife and being a mother, which if you ask anybody who has kids and also a job, like what's the most important thing, they're going to say having my family is the most important thing.
And they're not
like, I don't know, like who are these people that are married and have jobs that are like, I could go give or take the kids, you know?
Yeah, right.
Take them or leave them.
Even on the
I'm
worst
fine without
day.
them.
Even when Leo's at his absolute worst, I'm not like, yeah, I love my job more than Leo.
Right.
You know?
So naturally,
and the funny thing is that he said the same thing to the guys. He was like, hey, make sure not to neglect your careers, or make sure not to neglect your family in favor of your careers. And it's just, I don't know, completely unproblematic. I think that people were more upset.
It's naturally, instead of people answering his point, which was, women can have careers, but I would imagine the most important thing to them is being a wife and a mother, which I know from my wife and all the women that I know. They instead of addressing that at face value, which you can't because there's no argument against that, they invented this thing that he didn't actually say, which is women shouldn't have careers. So like that's been like the thing that everyone has been talking about is like, he's so misogynist, he thinks women should all stay home, when it's just very clearly not what he said. And so then the problem is, then people are debating that thing. Is like you can't win, right? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Is the right is always losing because they're always on the back foot. So like the left immediately reshifted the narrative to something that fit their talking point, and now people are either talking about this or saying no, he didn't actually say that, which is also not an effective way to answer.
It's not helpful.
It's not helpful. So now everybody's like backed into a corner. And they're either being like, you're right, women suck, or they're like arguing this argument that they're losing from the get-go because they've been placed into a weak position. So it's just sad to see. I think the easiest thing is just to like bow out and just like wait for it to blow over and not deal with it. Absolutely. It's better to have in-person conversations about these things, but
definitely. The speech the part of the speech that was super moving was when he started talking about how, he wouldn't be the man he was without his wife and her decision to like convert to the faith. And he like teared up, and his wife's decision to love her family was the only part of the speech, except the end, which doesn't count because it's the end of the speech, that received a standing ovation.
Applause. Yeah.
Like his wife got more applause than he did, it seemed like, it was so good. And that's the thing is the argumentation. I said this to someone on Twitter because I was like, because he some Catholics were upset, and I hate when they do this. Some Catholics were upset because they were we gotta stick together. Her life didn't begin when she became a wife and a mother. Her life began at conception. Shoot me in the face, please. This is your excuse me. Her life began at conception. My mom said that about me my entire life, and I was never like, wow, my mom popped into existence when I did, because I'm not an
Yes. My
idiot. All
mom
right,
was
I
dead until
understand.
I was born.
I know, because I understand metaphor. All right. Anyway, and so I was like, it seems like he's quoting his wife. If that's the case, what's the problem here? She has said,
Right.
"My life began when I became a wife and a mother."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why are you getting pissed off at her? Just leave her alone.
I thought we were
Listen,
supposed to
when
believe
a
women.
football player's wife speaks, sit down and listen. All right.
I think I think that all women are beautiful and that
That's
we
what you
should
said to
stop
me when
being
I was
mean to
talking
them.
about. I think all women are queens.
Yeah.
All right. Can I can
All
I
women
can
are
I can
queens.
I
That's my default position. Wait,
can I repeat what I said to you in our texts?
you may, because I thought it was very interesting. I was hoping
I
you'd
was
bring it up.
thinking about it. And I was like, why do people get so like angry about this? Because it seems
Mm-hmm.
obvious to me that it's like being a wife and a mother and a working person is like a little difficult, like there's movies and TV shows, and she has it all, the career and the kids and the family. It seems obvious to me that it's pretty difficult, and it's almost not desirable, right, to do both.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking about why is it? Because I certainly would rather stay home all the time. Like, are you kidding me? I don't want to have a job and a family. I'd much rather just have a family. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
because the you look at the domestic life and it seems very finite. Kids, school, work, like all of the jobs and all of the activities are very defined in a box, and you can kind of picture it because you've seen it your entire life. Whereas the
Right.
career world seems more open-ended because it could be anything. You could be a pilot,
Mm-hmm.
you could be a doctor, and so you're picturing the career world as all of the options, where in reality you're going to get one, and it's going
One
to be the
job.
same thing all the time forever until you die. Whereas
Yes,
the
but you might
family
get to
world,
travel.
awesome. That part sucks. All right, everyone
Yeah.
hates that. Everyone who travels for work hates it or cheats on their
Yes.
spouse. That's one or the other. Those are the
Dang.
two options. That's
Yes.
why
Or
pilots have
stays
the
in a hotel
highest.
room on a rollaway bed with their podcast co-host.
Or develops alcoholism. That's the other thing. They develop some kind of people hate it, or they develop some kind of crippling addiction to deal with the fact that they're traveling all the time. Anyway, I do know people that have traveled and enjoyed it, and they were like, "This is good for a season," so I will
Mm-hmm.
hold that off. Um, but anyway, I say that because it's like it seems infinite, and the domestic life seems finite. And I sent that to you, and then I sent it to a friend, and he said something that was rather profound. So I'm going to repeat it. Um, I said, I think people hate the women stay home thing because staying at home is predictable, whereas women at work seems unpredictable. And we tend to lean to the thing that has the fewest obvious constraints. So we want the life that has the fewest obvious constraints. And he said, in reality, it's the opposite. Kids are way less predictable than being a corporate slave. And the more you have, the more complex your household dynamics are. Anecdotally, it was way easier for me to get lost in my job pre-kids. My days blended together. I felt like my time passed without memorable events. But once I had kids, all of their milestones became distinct memories. I suddenly had a problem to solve because humans are more complex than bureaucracies. And I get way more of this working remotely than I would in person, and my wife gets way more of it because she's a full-time mom. And I mentioned to him, like, when I was working by myself,
Is
especially when I
that
was working.
ORV Bells?
Yeah, it is.
I could
You can just
tell. He's
tell.
so
What a
smart,
great
dude.
guy.
I
Yeah.
like him, man. Yeah.
He's going to be a doctor someday, a doctor of philosophy,
Actually?
political philosophy. Yeah, I think he's getting his PhD.
Is he going to teach? I would take his course.
I don't think he needs to teach. I don't know
He
if he
could
wants
stream
to do
on
it to
Twitch,
teach.
and I would watch it every day, and he could just talk, and I'd be like,
He's pretty dedicated to anonymity. That's why I did not name him.
I know, that's fair.
Yeah.
He's cool.
He can speak through like some kind of helmet that has a voice modulator. Anyway,
Ooh,
so
like
yeah,
Deadmau
really,
5.
like Deadmau 5. I've mentioned this to you. Like, I just recently started not forgetting my birthday. This was the first year where I remembered my birthday when I woke up. Seriously, like I when I was working, it was like so monotonous that I would like how I would come into work and be like, "Where is everybody? Oh, it's Memorial Day." I would just forget holidays. I'd forget the 4th of July. You know,
I think that's why you
because
and me are different because I don't think I've ever really like loved a job so much that I like haven't clung
oh
desperately to
sure,
anything that would break up the day
the
to day.
monotony. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I think you had that bent and I did not. So that
Yeah,
is the difference. I agree about the whole like constraint thing and people want to be in the thing that's least constraining. I also think that it's high school, right? You're telling me that the star football player who's tall and attractive has a wife and kids and he's saying that they're happy and I'm single and I'm alone and I have no wife and no kids and you're telling me that what you have is better than what I have.
yeah,
And deep down, I know that that's true, but like I have so many layers of protection around that belief
yeah,
that I'm just going to decide to hate you
yeah.
instead.
He's
And
cheer
I think that's
captain, and I'm on the bleachers.
I'm on the bleachers. Yes.
Dude, you
I
should
do think
listen.
that it's a lot of that actually.
I'm upset that you didn't listen to the whole speech because in the speech he does
No, he
refer to
quotes
Taylor
Taylor.
Swift. He refers
Yeah.
to Taylor Swift as my teammate's girlfriend, which I thought was really funny. People were
Yeah.
upset about him at that. I don't think they listened to that part because it was a part of a joke. So
Yeah.
it seems a little, it seems a little people know who Taylor Swift is. You don't gotta
It's also funny because Taylor Swift is the thing that he's talking about, right? Like
Yes.
that's the whole. This is the problem. This is why there's so much angst and energy is because Taylor Swift appears to live a life that is unbounded, right? She can date who she wants, and now she's finally happy. She has all the money in the world. She can go wherever she wants. She has a boyfriend. She's doing great, but she's still missing something, and a lot of her fans are also missing that thing, and so it's just there's this. It's like this, where it's
Yeah.
like you can accept. I still agree with the Swiftian normality thing that we talked about a few weeks ago. Like I still agree that it's fine and normal for a culture to rally around a fairly decent, white lady who sings songs that are fine. Even if she is
the whole nation of
a
Argentina
lib.
has still rallied around Eva Perón. Evita.
I thought you were going to say a different leader that was controversial.
Who? Pope
Come
Francis?
on.
Oh, okay.
No, Adolf.
Argentina?
I saw. Yeah, that's where all the Nazis went after World War II.
Yes, that is where all the
Come
Nazis went
on.
after World War II.
I did see a clip. I did see a clip from The Simpsons on Twitter today that I thought was very funny. It's like this city in North Dakota is named after a famous German leader, and Homer yells Hitler. And Marge comes in and goes, Hitler, North Dakota. It's really funny.
Hitler, North Dakota. Bismarck.
It's really funny. He's so excited too. He's just so eager to say Hitler. Oh, I gotta watch The Simpsons. This is a funny show. So I think it boils down to what you said, kind of the desire to be not constrained, and then also the jealousy, man. I really think there's just so much envy in the world,
can't pretend
and people
that
just
it's
see
not jealousy.
things. They see things and they want them, and they feel guilty for wanting those things. Like people
Yes.
feel guilty for wanting safe neighborhoods that are like filled with people that are like them because they feel like that's racist or it's classist. And so then they say, you live in your cute little suburb. I live out here in the city where I smoke crack with the homeless people and I get bricks thrown at me because I'm a real person. Have fun in your little suburb. It's like, okay, fine. You've got your family. It's like whatever the thing is, right? I think I think everyone is just really dissatisfied with their current
you
lot.
pointed this out. You pointed this out to me when I was kind of laughing because it's the first time I had ever seen someone get make fun of the yuppie millennial barcade guy. But like the incel styled guys make fun of yuppie millennials going out to bars and barcades and hanging out with all their friends, and because they secretly want that too. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's people get offended by lifestyles that they wish they had, right? That's one way that people get offended, or one reason why
Mm-hmm.
people get offended is because they wish they had the lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's high school. It's teenage girls. It's
It's high
like
school.
I want to be pretty like you, but I'm not. So I'm going to pretend it's a bad thing so that it's actually bad and it's a good thing that I'm not pretty.
I think the most prophetic song of our times is High School Never Ends by Bowling for Soup.
I think about that song once a week because of that.
It's a great song. Reese Witherspoon, she's the prom queen. Bill Gates, captain of the chess team. Jack Black, the clown. Brad Pitt, the quarterback. Seen it all before. I want my money back.
Nice.
You know that one? You know how it goes?
I do.
Yeah, I think it's a tune that everyone should listen to and learn by heart, like me. And it will teach you a thing or two about life. I don't have much else to say about this. I just think it's crazy, and I don't think that people should stoop to the discourse level.
Yeah.
I think it's way better to be like, instead of arguing about, well, Harrison didn't actually say that, and also you're wrong about women. It's easier. It's just a better conversation to be like, why does this bother you so much?
Mm-hmm.
And then that can lead to a whole other realm of discussion about the person and like the feelings that what he said is arising in that person, instead of about Harrison Butker. Because it's really not about Harrison Butker. It's such a bunch of dissatisfied women that are all mad.
Yes.
And men who feel like they have to stick up for them for some reason. Well, we all know the reason. But so if you want to have a conversation, that would be how I would encourage you to do it. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a PhD named ORV Bells.
Not on this
on
podcast.
Twitter.com.
That's the next podcast on Wednesday where you're the PhD.
Oh.
I do think I wish that there was more conversation around the actual thesis of the talk, which was stay in your lane. It's kind of like a Bill Belichickian do your job sort of thing.
Bill Belichickian.
Yes. Bill Belichick-esque. He was the do your job Patriots guy, right?
I think Bill Belichick and G.K. Chesterton would have a great time hanging out.
Chester Belichick.
Chester Belichockian.
Chester Belloc. That was a thing they used to call Chester Bellocks. It was like people who liked Hilaire Belloc and G.K. Chesterton. For those of you who did not know that.
I was almost one of those guys, but God saved me.
I am one of those guys.
And God has not saved him.
God has not saved me. Servile State, such a good book. Anyway, it was kind of like do your job. He was talking to the bishops, do your job. He was talking to the priests to do their job. Many have, no one has brought up the point, I think is a fair point, is like, why are you doing that at a college graduation? The bishops aren't there, but I think it's good because everyone in the room is thinking it because they're all trad and they're like, why don't the bishops just do their jobs? And I think that it was, other than that, it had a lot of good messaging. I think that it's worth a listen for any young Catholic who leans trad, who's disillusioned. I think it was solid.
Yeah.
Harrison's a smart guy.
I think that's
because doesn't get tackled.
Smarter than Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, smarter than Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
It's because he doesn't get
Which
tackled.
Who do you think has more money?
Harrison.
I think it might be Jordan.
I think Harrison Butker has more money than Jordan Peterson.
Dude,
let us know in the comments.
Jordan Peterson gets paid like 6 figures to speak at a place.
I am sure that Harrison Butker gets paid that to speak. I'm sure.
Comment below what you think. Press 1 if you think it's Jordan Peterson. Press 2 if you think it's Harrison Butker.
The man does not fly commercial. Okay.
Jordan flies private.
No, neither of them fly commercial, and
commercial.
You can't get a guy to charter a jet if he's not going to make 6 figures to speak. I'm sorry.
My money's on JP. Your money's on HB. We'll have let us know what you think in the Discord. bit.ly/crunch-discord is the place to go for all conversation pertaining to and about this podcast and any other topic that you might have in your life. bit.ly/crunch-discord. We are going to end this show and record our Wednesday show that we do every week about dating. It's called Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner. Subscribe to this feed and leave us a review. Patrick, do you have anything else for the people?
Jordan, I'd love to have you come on the show, but first you got to kick a 63. Your move.
Thank you all for listening. Please pray for us. We'll be praying for you, and we will see you all next week. I tried to kick the bloody ball through the uprights for 63 damn yards. I gotta make my bed in the morning. It's the best I can do.
Only eat beef.
It's not enjoyable. I can tell you that. I can tell you it has a big strain on my social life. When I was a clinician, it's the bloody woke mob. Carbon in the atmosphere.